Hello everyone, I would like to introduce you to another Gita from my collection. This one is Bhagavad Gita as it is by Bhaktivedanta Book Trust by Swami Prabhupada. This particular book is of special significance to me. I had this book when I was 20. This has been in my life for more than 23 years now. As soon as we got this book, my dad came home and protected this. Even though this is a hardcover, he protected this with tape and cover and such. And I even had him sellotape my name. I've hidden my name, but I had him sellotape my name so that no one erases it and takes it. That's one of the childish beliefs I had, that people are after my books and they take it and they don't return it. This particular Gita, I like for so many reasons. I go through the reasons one by one. One is, this is of sentimental value. During the time that I got this Gita, my dad had arranged a teacher for her to come and teach Gita at home. My aunt, my uncle, my parents decided that they'd use that. And this person was just 3 years elder to me. I really respect her. My journey with Gita will not be complete without mentioning her. For privacy reasons, I'm not telling her name. She did an excellent job in coming home regularly for 5 years and teaching Gita to us. The classes went on for an hour or an hour and a half, depending upon the engagement. People in that class were my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, and people from neighborhood, both young and old. These classes were charged with discussions and wonderful chanting. We chanted the verse, we also chanted the Lord's name. Even though the study went on for 5 years, I don't remember how far we got as far as chapters are concerned. But I remember that we went through 108 verses that Prabhupada said were important. Those were deep dive studies into the 108. And she had us take notes on another notebook. This is why, unlike my other Gitas, you don't find any marks, highlights or notes on the book. Also at that time, I used to think that Gitas were not to be written on and they're sacred and they need to be like clean and pristine. My belief system has changed since then because Gita is part of my life, everyday life now, and I touch it every day. I read it, I highlight and I take notes and I draw that nectar to myself and apply it to my life whenever necessary. So it's always necessary, what am I saying? But taking that nectar and assimilating has become my everyday part of my life. So there's no way I cannot write on a Gita. But I chose not to do that with this one because I wanted to leave it as it is, representing that part of my life which I really enjoyed. We did Gita study as a family. That was very important to me. And we were taken to the store and I think we were allowed to choose our books. And my aunt and uncle chose another language. My mom chose Telugu. And my dad had a Tamil version. And I took this. And since then, this was the study Gita for me during those classes. I kept one old thing here. I used to go to Chennai Ramakrishna Mutt and to attend the birthday celebrations of Ramakrishna, Holy Mother and Vivekananda. Those were special events there. And I would want to read this to you. Pray to him in any way you will. He is sure to hear you, for he hears even the footfall of an ant. This has been very precious to me and I've it's gotten cut for some reason, but I've kept this here for years. So I like this Gita, this particular book, for several reasons. As I said, sentimental value, number one. Number two is the artwork. ISKCON's artwork is to die for. These artworks are beautiful. They have stories corresponding to verses, and they're even useful for meditation. People who meditate on the Lord's form can use these pictures. And this one is particularly beautiful. This is the old Arjuna with a mustache, classic Gita depiction. And another reason that I like this book is that it has the English verse. That is, there is the Sanskrit verse, and then there is the English version of the Sanskrit verse. This is very important for both people who can read Sanskrit and people who do not read Sanskrit. For people who do not read Sanskrit, this helps them pronounce the verse. If they really want to get into the verse too. There are some that don't want to, they only want the translation. That's fine. But for those that want to chant the verse before they got into the study, this is very helpful. Even if you knew Sanskrit, there are certain words that you split to maintain the meter or chandas of the chanting. So it's very important that the English version of the verse also accompanies the verse. At least I've found it very helpful in my case. Even though I can read Sanskrit, I seem to need these to split the words and pronounce the verses correctly. And the next thing I really like about this book is that the translations, they're very short, and if you're short of time, you can just do the translation and do several verses studies and just keep going. Otherwise, you do a detailed study which includes a long purport that accompanies the translations. These purports are very easy to follow, beautifully done. Also refers other sources like Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita and Vishnu Purana. There's so many references in the purports available in many verses. And also the purports even refer to other verses that you can go to refer and bring the meaning and get a good idea of these texts. Prabhupada's version is a very good version to begin with. If you are in a bookstore and you see this and you are drawn to it and you have a calling to purchase it, please go ahead. Another thing I would say about owning a Gita or buying a Gita, or if you're gifted a Gita, please accept the gift and give it a try. The reason is Gita is Krishna's grace. The Lord himself lives in his words. Even in Bible it says, first came the word. So the sound that the Lord uttered is the Lord himself. So if these words come into your life, it is a calling, it is an invitation. Do not ignore it. Do not analyze it saying that this is ISKCON, that's Gaudiya Mat, this is Ramakrishna Mat, I don't want Advaita, I don't want Dvaita, I don't want Vishishta Advaita, Achintya Beda. All that is immaterial. Those things are secondary. Those things are filtered in which we are looking at the truth. But the truth penetrates nevertheless. If Lord's words come into your life, that is itself grace. It does not matter what version you read. You read Gita, that is important. That being said, I think I covered all the reasons why I like this, why this is wonderful to have. And this one's very special to me for the reason that this depicts those 5 years in my life where I had a wonderful time with my family, reading, learning Gita. And my mother and I had special memories during that time. My mother passed away recently. My father passed away too. So this represents a very emotional item in my life. My mother and I share immense love for Gita. Of course, it came from my mother. So we used to take notes using this Gita and her own version of this. And we used to be engaged in talking about what we learned in the class for hours. Those are very special memories for me. For that reason, this particular book is very special to me, and have difficulties letting go of it. Anyway, so the other thing that I wanted to say is, if you're picking up a Gita from ISKCON, and the advantage is that there are many languages to choose from, very many languages to choose from, many font sizes to choose from. I have other font sizes and other sizes too, which there are small ones too, I will share them. If you are visually challenged and you're a senior, you have bigger fonts to choose from, which I really appreciate. ISKCON's part in bringing the Lord's words to every household is tremendous. It is to be respected and commended, because they give out free copies of this, and to print this, it does take like a lot of expense, because these are high quality paper and binding, and I've never seen a flimsy Gita from ISKCON, never. So if they're giving out free copies to people, that's a service to humanity. Even if 9 people throw it away, the 10th one picks it up, it is still a beautiful service. I would recommend this book, and this is one of the books in my collection. I cherish this, and I hope you enjoyed this share, and I will get back to you with more next time. Thank you, and bye-bye.